Welcome back to Gilbert's Repairs. Today we're just going to have a look under the bonnet of this 2018 Seat Arona. We're going to check essential things that you should do like once a month, like your oil, your coolant, your screen wash and brake fluid, etc. So we'll see how we get on under there and make a little video for you. If you found it useful today and you found it informative, could you please like, subscribe and share. Right, let's get on with it. So the under bonnet checks that we're going to do is the radiator water or coolant or antifreeze, whatever you want to call it. And the brake fluid lives up there. Check the fluid on there. We're going to dip the oil and probably top it on this car. And the screen wash down here. That's all what the items that we're going to check on the under bonnet checks. That should be done once a month, really. You should be checking all this on your car every month. Okay, so the coolant is kept in this tank here, the header tank. So it can be called coolant, antifreeze, or your radiator water, whatever suits you. It stays in here. There's a min and a max on the header tank here. To get into it, to open it, unscrew it in an anti-clockwise direction, and then you add your coolant into here. It's the lid. You put the coolant in there if it's required. Shouldn't be required that often. So I'll take you in to show you the minimum and the maximum lines and what I use to fill. Right, so that's the header tank. We've got the lid off, ready to top. And as you can see there, we've got the pink coolant that's in there is on the minimum and the maximum line is there. And there's no pink coolant there, so we'll add it up to the max so that you can see it going in. So I've got this coolant to go in. And all we do is pour it in until we get up to that maximum line. Oh, this is going to go everywhere. I'm going to have to be in your way. So it's not taken much. There we can see there's very little that took. So we're now on the max. And important, get your cap, do him up nice and tight until he stops. A bit wavy pictures for you. So that's him tight. The coolant or the antifreeze is now topped up on this car. That's all it takes, a very basic job. So the next job under here is the brake fluid. There's the brake fluid reservoir. You just undo that cap to add any brake fluid, but you shouldn't need to add brake fluid at all. And on this car, I don't know if it's coming out on the camera, there's the minimum. There's the maximum. It's a long way between the two. You can just see the brake fluid in there. Ours is at that level. So we are slightly below the max, but that's probably accounting to the wear of the pads. So I'm not going to top this up. I wouldn't recommend topping that up. If it's down on the minimum, you either need to check your brake pads are all okay, or you've got a leak somewhere. So that's where the brake fluid lives and how you top it. So to check the engine oil, there's the dipstick, and if we need to add any oil, that's the oil filler cap. So to dip the oil, get a bit of the wife's kitchen roll, pull the dipstick out and wipe it clean initially. So we're just wiping it clean so that we got a good starting point. And then what we're after is we're after a reading. Don't know if it's going to come out. Yeah, there we go. So we're after a reading between there, that's the maximum, and this is the minimum. So it's that rough section, the hashed, the diamond looking. So max, min. So we've got it wiped clean now. So now we'll put it back in the engine and we'll check the level. This car does use a very small amount of oil between checks. So in it goes. And then we'll pull it out and we'll check the oil. I'll get it around to you. So here we are. And you can see, if the camera's getting it, there it is. He's halfway down that stick. There it is, that's in focus. So he's halfway. So we do need to top the oil on this car. It does use a slight amount. It's only 4 years old with 16,000 miles on it. It does use it. So we'll top it up now. So to top the oil, we've got the oil here. We undo the filler cap. And we're just pouring the oil in. We're not putting a lot in, we don't need much. So this is the sort of quantities you're looking at. You're not talking about a lot to get it from midpoint to nearly maximum on the stick. All right, we'll recheck the oil. We'll have to let it sit for 5 minutes to allow that oil to drain down through the engine. So we'll do that now. I'll little snip back to you. I'll cut back to you when the engine is drained down through the oil. No, I'll cut back. I'll cut back to you. I'll cut the video for 5. Right, so I've allowed that oil to drain down through the engine for 5 minutes. So I'll now recheck the level. We'll wipe the stick again, and then we'll check the level. So in he goes, and then we'll pull him on, and then we'll see what we've got now. That's nice, that's where I like it. 3/4 to max. So he's about 3/4 up that checkered section on the dipstick now. So I'm happy with that, that's where I like to have it. 3/4 to max. So get your dipstick back in, and then essential, not forget to put your filler cap back on. And that is essentially how to check your oil level and to top it up. Okay, to top the screen wash on this Arona, this is where it lives. You just flip the lid up, flip that back. I've got my concentrated screen wash there, and I dilute it with water, and you just put it into there, and it's filled to spill, so you just keep going until it's full right up. So we'll put it in. So that's it, you fill it up there. Make sure you put the lid down. I'll take you in and I'll show you an electrical plug that I'm not happy about on this car. So be careful when you're putting the screen wash in, like I've just spilt it there. And I'll show you what it goes down onto, and I don't think it's nicely positioned. So be a bit cautious about spilling your screen wash on this plug. I'll take it. There's a screen wash that I put in, and it's a concentrate. You've got to mix it up with water, but you can buy pre-mixed stuff. There's the lid, but it's this plug here that I'm talking about. It's quite a bad design where they've located it. I've just spilt all the I've just spilt all the screen wash down on it. It runs off of that filler, that neck, straight down onto that electrical plug, and all the screen wash goes into those cables, and I don't think it's long term a good thing for that. So it's just something of interest, or maybe not. So that's it. That's how you fill the screen wash on this Seat Arona. So there we go. I think that's covered all the fluid checks required on this 2018 Seat Arona. All of these things you should be checking once a month to ensure that your car is going to run smoothly and not break down on you. If you found it useful and informative, could you please like, subscribe and share. I'll see you next time.